Hi everyone, this is Cherie from Paper Pieces and Leftovers. I'm going to do this video in live time. This is going to be bear number 3 from Franklin and Frannie Pumpkin Carving Party. I already did one bear. I apologize. I wasn't going to record as I was just trying to get them completed prior to my surgery. That way they could get posted. However, I thought about it. And I wanted to kind of share in detail a little bit more with some of the things that I used, just to try to make you guys' life a little easier on what to pick and choose. So this was bear number 1, which I've already posted because I did 2 of them, and the other one looks like this, and I may do one more just with a different eye so everybody can see it, but I went ahead and put him together real quick thinking I was going to do the whole set. I ombre'd this, let's see, that's the title, and I have all my sizes. Excuse me, I am on antibiotics before surgery. Yay. These are just the width. This, I let the height in Quick Cut Design Space auto adjust. So if you want, screenshot that. If you prefer to use my sizing. If not, that's okay. So for my cupcake, I used epoxy dots. These are from Queen & Company. They are a little bit more expensive through them, but I ordered some metal die cuts and I just ordered everything as a bulk order. If you're looking for more affordable, there are some at Hobby Lobby. I have a couple links in my phone also. Off the top of my head, I can't remember what it's called. And then I took these, the black ones, and I cut them in half. They're just the little sprinkles. But I cut them in half, that way the back half was flat. All right, so the body's gonna go on first because the leg is gonna go in front. So I did ink all the way around the leg, which I usually don't because they're always hidden by the body. We're gonna put the ears on. The left ear, the larger ear, goes on the left, and you'll notice that there is a size difference to the ears. I didn't really want to do that, but I guess my hand wanted to. That's what I get for paper piecing at 2:47 in the morning because I can't sleep anymore. Yes, it is anxiety at this point. I don't have an anxiety issue. Everybody gets anxious at times, but it's far and few and in between for me. I think the last time I really got anxious was the delivery of my kid, my youngest. Just because of what I had went through with my twins passing away, I was very scared to have my daughter. My son was textbook, delivered him on the due date, had no issues. My daughter came after the tragic event with my twins, and I was very scared. So in my mid-20s, I had a panic attack as I was going into preterm labor with her at 31 weeks. Yes, and yesterday was her birthday. She caught whatever I had, so she spent the day in bed, but she still enjoyed her birthday. Thank you for those of you who are my friends, and also my husband had tagged me in the post to wish her a happy birthday, and she said thank you. She doesn't use Facebook. She is the one with the traumatic brain injury, and she's not real big on social media, even though she just turned 19, and that's okay. You know, I don't really force anything down her throat. Plus, she says Facebook is for old people. I told her thank you. Now you'll realize that I'm getting older, right? She said, I don't want to think about that. Well, you said it there, you little chit. All right. So I did the body. the ear bases, the ear pads, and then the head. The little white dots are for my eyes. I've already used my pan pastel. Excuse me. Okay, so I know I've had questions about eyes. I made a template. Once I get the eyes in the perfect position, what I do is I overlay another set of eyes, my bases, onto them, of course down when it's on the face. And then I put little dots of glue on the white and a piece of cardstock to run it across. The reason there's a muzzle behind it is that way I know where to place it when I trace it. That was not meant to rhyme. But for the eyes, like of my kids, and this was to the reindeer. I don't know why I didn't throw those out because I don't need them anymore. But these are to my kids, and it's just different shapes eyes. I have them everywhere. And the reason why is because I let them dry. I don't know where my green one is. That's... I have another one that is actually the one I use all the time, but I'm assuming it's tucked away. Oh, here it is. Okay. Yes, I use these just like I said to trace, but the reason I have so many is because the edges will pick up some of the ink, the black ink that you use for tracing, and it will leave smudge marks. So if you're gonna do what I do, don't make the same mistakes that I did. And I will show you what I used for my cupcake. And it is crimped. I showed the crimper on my Facebook page. And to see it a little bit better, I did a black one, just so you guys can kind of see. It does look different depending on which side you view it on, but I just ran it through real quick so you guys could see what I was working with. And the pattern does come with some shadows to make it look like, you know, it's folded, but me, I'm just extra, and I'm okay with that. I guess that's what makes my stuff stand out, huh? I am memorable for my extra bullshit. Okay. Now, I went around the eyes with my pan pastel. I did use black. On my kids, the peach cardstock, shrimp or peach, depending on which color I use, I go around the eyes with gray. And that is just something so it's not so bold. But I went around them with black forever before I found the dark gray. And the dark gray, that's black. The dark gray is neutral gray, extra dark. Now, the little white circles I cut out. You don't have to. This is just something I do because I fight with a gel pen with my tremors. And with me, I like to simplify life. Hence why I created the template for tracing my eyes on. And sometimes I do use my stamp. It just depends on if I'm having a good day or a bad day. And if I feel like trying to draw the eyelashes or just stamping them on and moving along. It just really depends on my day. And I can tell in the morning if it's a good day or bad day. Today's a little shaky, so it's not too bad, but I wouldn't be doing eyelashes today. I'd probably get really frustrated. So the first thing I do when I cut out all of my sets, because I cut out every piece to each set before I do any inking. But before I do inking, I have a piece of glue right here. Okay. I actually go through and do the eyelashes on every single one of them. And that's what the 4. That means he goes in bucket number 4 and on base number 4. Because my bases are too big to fit in the buckets because I stack them. And this is just something I've done forever and ever. So for the little itty bitty pieces, it doesn't matter if it's letters to a title or anything really small. I put glue on my hand, my finger, just because I have more control of how much goes on. And I'm gonna knock my bottle over and dump all my eyes out. I'm doing real good over here this morning. Tremors are a little bit today, so I apologize. Yipes, stop that. My hand, come on, I can do this. All right. The other ones the other videos, I'm debating if I want to do lifetime or speed it up, just that way you guys don't have to sit here and watch me have tremors and shake, you know, the whole time. I know that nobody cares as far as it doesn't bother you guys. I've been very open with my cervical fusion. There's not a whole lot I can do about it, unfortunately, and so the shaking is just gonna be forever and ever. And I know it doesn't bother anybody. I shouldn't say you guys don't care. That's not how I meant that at all. It doesn't bother you guys with my shaking and my tremors because you guys know what causes it. That sounds a lot more polite. I really sound like an asshole in the morning. All right. So you guys ask me sometimes when there's some extra base protruding, I just take some super fine scissors and snip it off. Because days like today when my gluing is not perfect, I notice I'm going to have a little bit of base visible, and I just cut it off. So it's gone. Or what I do is I take my ink on my dauber and I go behind it and I ink the base. So the leg is going to go on, and it really doesn't matter what order. If you want to do the faces after, if you want to do them before, it's up to you. This arm goes behind as she's going to be holding a candy corn. And I found some of the cutest pieces that I was going to stick onto my cupcake, but I'm debating just putting one in the middle of the bow. These are from Doodlebug Designs, and these ones are called So Corny. Haven't made up my mind yet. Once again, just me being extra. So let's put the candy corn together. And yeah, I'm a little bit of a hot mess at 3 o'clock in the morning on 3 hours of sleep, but like I said, it's just my nerves, not so much anxiety. I'm a little afraid of pain. Nobody likes pain. My son said, well, just think of it this way. You know, you guys get through childbirth and you do it again. I'm like, thanks, you little jerk. So I got a million Q&A out of him the other day. He is almost done with his master's. He will be done in December with it. And eventually he wants to start a family and get married and settle down, but he wanted to finish school first, which I commend him for that. That was one thing we told him to focus on, was school, and he did. And he's just like, you know, how do I know if it's the right one? I said, kiddo, I tell you, you'll have a certain feeling. My husband was my neighbor for 4 years, begging to go on a date with me, and I turned him down. He tells everybody we've been married for 6 years. We've only been married for 2. He says he gets credit for the 4 years that he chased me. I told him that's not how it goes, I don't think so, but, you know, what the heck do I know? That was way too much. I love him to death. But my grandmother had told me to just go on a date with him, make it a horrible experience, do things I wouldn't usually do. And I did, and it was over. That night, he actually looked at me and said I was the one he was going to marry. And 4 weeks later, he proposed. 4 months later, we got married, and we just had our 2-year anniversary. But I told my son, you know, it's hard to explain. I didn't have to pretend to be anybody in front of him, except myself. I didn't have to pretend to be anybody. I just was myself. And it was completely different, because when you're younger, you're like, oh yeah, oh, I love watching basketball and my favorite color is blue and black. No to either one of those, but it sounded good, right? Yes, you guys have all been there with me. So, been there, done that, where you try to find interest in stuff he likes just to have something in common. No, But there was a lot of things that we liked that are the same, and with the similarities, it just made it a lot easier to have something to talk about and hang out, and just kind of knew. So that's what I told him, you know, don't go in with high expectations, but you'll just know. And I know he was having a nervous conversation with me because of my surgery. I guess he just wanted to stay on the phone with me and talk about stuff that we usually don't ever talk about, but that's okay. So I put the muzzle on, and I'm going to cap this just so. I use Prismacolor, and it's just in the white. I got it from Hobby Lobby. You can order them online. And it's kind of, I just put just a little line on the outside of Franklin's eye. And I don't even worry if they're perfect, because the white dot will cover. I just go in a little further. And now I'm going to use a gel pen. This one is the 08 by Jelly Roll. And the reason I don't put the muzzle on before the white chalk is because then you end up having a little rounded part that doesn't have chalk that you can actually see if you can't get in there real good. I'm going to have to clean that white up a little bit. And that's easy. I just use my tweezers and scratch it off. I went a little too far. But I kind of knew today. It's alright. Easy fix. So, after that's done, I'm going to put his nose on. Her nose. It's a her. This is Frannie. Oh, think happy thoughts, guys. Think happy thoughts. That's what I have to keep telling myself. And usually I stick a zot behind there, but I didn't do it today. So this is just a piece of acetate. I use this because it allows me to get a more even line for his mouth, the line on the mouth, and then I use the Micron 005. It's a 0.20 millimeter pen, so I know that it's not just Micron that has this one. But the acetate allows me to get a straighter line than freehanding it. Now, if you don't want to draw the little black circle on the mouth, the pattern does come with the dot to glue onto that. All right, let's make the cupcake here. I am going to just kind of put it on the bottom. And they are two different shades of orange. I know in the pattern it's got the darker one on the top, but I went with the lighter one on the top. There we go. But with shading the edges also, it kind of covers it all, where you can't really see that much of a difference, but that's okay. So if you want to cut them both out in the same orange, that's fine. We'll go right here. Yes. And now I'll turn it over. I'm going to be careful not to bone fold this part, just because I don't want to flatten out my cupcake paper. I'm going to get my gel pen again, and I'm going to add my little highlights. To the nose and the ears, because that's what I always do. Oh, so shaky today. All right. Let's add her bow on, and then I'll play with the candy corn versus the center. This goes right here. And let's see what it looks like. Do I want to add the candy corn in the middle? I think I do. Now, once again, this is just me being extra. You do not have to do this. It actually comes with the center. But how can you go wrong with that? Aww. All right, let's sit her on the cupcake the best I can with all of the lumpies. And I did not think about that. Let's move this one. Trial and error, guys. See? I still make mistakes, and I'm okay with that. So if you're gonna design your cupcake, probably sit her down on it first and then work around her. Actually, we can move this one over here. Okay. So I really use sturdy glue, y'all. Do I want to take that one off too? No, that's fine. She'll be good. So, yep, I still make mistakes. I didn't think about that. I was all excited to get the cupcake designed. I guess I could have just made another dang cupcake or not used that top. That would have made more sense, but hey, trial and error, right? But now you guys get to see in lifetime. Far from perfect. We make mistakes. Why does she seem a little crooked to me? Now, because she is a little uneven, I am going to show you what I do. And this is just extra. And this is where the leftovers to my name comes from. I have paper, scratch paper. And the reason this is scratch paper is because, actually I'm gonna make it a little whiter. I don't use the paper that goes left and right, depending on how you hold it, just horizontal or vertical. I use paper that has the crossbody marks. I don't know. It's horizontal and vertical. All right. So what I'm going to do is cut this in half. And this is just going to give her more support. I don't even feel bad that I'm not going to do a voiceover edit this. So you guys can see in real time that, yes, we do make mistakes. And mistakes are fixable. Mistakes are very fixable. And we just usually edit them out. Works for me. But I have nothing to hide from anybody. I want you guys to see that when you make a mistake, don't throw away your piece. You improvise and wing it. Even if you have to remake one piece and just lay it over. But now she is nice and sturdy on there. She's not going anywhere. Let's give her her candy corn and her arm. I only glue up half, well, I glued the upper half of the arm only. I wipe the excess off. And the reason why is so I can slide whatever she's holding under her arm and it won't affect the shape of the arm. It won't cause an indentation. And this is just something I've learned over time. Just tips and tricks, not any. You can do it however you choose. And because of Connie at Prairie Paper Crafts, I did ink the outer white part with orange to give it a little bit of life. We'll go ahead and put her hand on. And that's it, guys. Here she is. Let me make sure she's in frame. Any questions, let me know. And I hope you enjoy her and it helps you put her together for yourself. I am going to start with number 4 here shortly. I just haven't decided if I'm going to do lifetime or voiceover. Stay tuned.